So guys, this decision of going back or staying has been ultimately consuming me. It's never been this point where it's consumed me nonstop every day, 24/7. Like, it's been weeks now, and I still am not able to make a decision. It's like one thing comes up that's like, oh no, I can't go because this is going to be an issue. And then one thing comes up that, oh no, I can't stay because this is going to be an issue. And this is what I talked about in my videos before. It's like when your intuition is shouting at you, whether it's a big life decision, whether it's leaving a job, starting a new job, moving to a new country, leaving a relationship, like your intuition is going to be shouting at you non-stop until you make a decision. And if it's shouting at you to make a decision, it's usually a decision to leave, because it wouldn't be shouting at you if you were meant to stay. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm starting to notice. So it's like I know I'm going to be dealing with a lot of the same stresses that I dealt with before when I was there, because that environment, that situation hasn't changed. The people are still the same that I'm going to be interacting with, but I have changed. So if I trust myself or not, and I'm not living through fear and trust myself that I have changed, then I'll react in those situations different. And if I don't like those situations, then I'll do everything to get myself up out of it, because I have that strength, I have that resilience. Like, for example, say you're a driver who you react aggressively when people cut you off and all that stuff. You get into road rage and arguments with people while you're driving, right? Say you're that type of person, and you've healed and you've changed and you've done the work to not let things trigger you. Then the only way to test yourself and to know is that when you drive again and someone cuts you off or starts a fight with you on the road, that you choose not to react. That's how you know if you really changed from that situation. So it's like you're only going to know if you really changed if you test yourself in those environments. But also, like, for what I just said about the road rage, you have to drive to work every day. So whether you want to test yourself in that situation, you have to, because you need to drive to work. So you need to see how you react in those situations. So it's your choice whether you let those people trigger you or you change perspective and be like, that's that own person stuff. Like, it's not worth it to put that stress on me and to let myself get worked up for someone else's stuff. So for example, for me, it's like, if I go back to Toronto, I have to put myself in an environment that did stress me out, that did give me anxiety. Whereas here, I'm sitting comfortably, and even though I have stresses of raising 2 kids alone, and that comes with its own set of anxiety and stress, it's still not the same stress of being in an environment that gives me anxiety, right? So it's one of those things that both give you stresses, which is the stress that you're willing to take on or not. But I won't know if I've truly changed and not letting those things trigger me, and if I know how to work around it where I can make it so that it's not a stressful environment. And also, like, just even talking to my mom, I'm trying to interact with her in a way where we don't trigger each other. So far, we've been good so far, but it's only because of the distance, and I hope that I've actually changed where I can, like, handle that situation where I don't get triggered or remove myself when I'm triggered. And if I just look at it as temporary and it's not forever, then that's a different perspective I have than, oh my God, I'm stuck here, right? And if anything, I can come back if Toronto's really not working out, even though I don't want to go back and forth. If it's really not working out for me and I give it another go, then I can come back. It's not the end of the world. So it's all of these perceptions that I'm trying to shift, and I'm trying to really put myself in those environments in my mind. Can I really do this? Can I really handle this? Like, is it worth it at the end of the day? So what I've just been narrowing it down to is that, let's say I go another year here. It's going to be, I've been building up a community. I've actually been meeting people almost every day. I've been meeting a different mom, and the kids have been having fun at the park and whatnot, but it's still, what I said, it's not my community, but I'm doing it for the kids, right? But at the end of the day, what keeps nagging away at me, and this is why it's like kind of forcing me, my intuition, to make a decision, is because the support is the most important. After being here alone and in isolation, even though I've healed, even though I've done all this work, like what I've said before, the isolation and not having that, like, family support, or like my mom, my aunt, my family, or the kid's dad, even though he's fickle, I know he'll still be there for his kids, because he's been still interacting with his kids since we've been away and supporting them. So it's like, and being a team with them, because it takes a village to raise a kid. Like, it's not, raising kids are not meant to be alone. It takes a support, a community to raise kids so that they feel loved, they feel nurtured. So what just keeps coming up for me that keeps repeating in my mind because I'm weighing out pros and cons. I'm trying to self-reflect and really think through this decision, not just make an impulsive decision, is that support matters. Support is the most important thing. Like, when you have kids, it's a different ball game. You're not just going and experiencing life and doing what you feel is good. No, you're thinking about what's the best for the kids and what's the best for you too. And after being here and doing it alone and proving to myself that I could do it alone, I just realized that how important the support was and how I didn't appreciate it when I had it. That it because doing it alone, you see the difference between that break that my mom would give me was so important. Just even her like being there to watch them to eat so that I could go do something else. Like, just the little things mattered. The little things added up as well. And I wasn't seeing things like that because I wasn't emotionally stable then. I was going through so much at the same time. Everything was hitting me at once, and I was seeing things from a negative outlook, not a positive outlook, not really digging deep and reflecting on everything. All the skills that I've gained here, I can take that and use that there. They're not just going to disappear because I deal with a stressful situation. I deal with stressful situations here, and I use those same skills and I overcome them. So it's like I need to stop living in fear of what's going to happen when I go back. So this video I'm recording now, but it probably won't be posted in about a week. And it's funny because if you're going to be seeing my other videos, it's this non-stop back and forth where I say, yeah, I made my decision basically and I'm going back, and then something happens and I'm like, oh no, that's a sign from the universe that I'm not supposed to go back. So it's just like, it's so hard sometimes to trust our intuition, and a lot of the times we're acting from a place of fear that what if? And I know I'm being really indecisive about this decision, but it's a big decision and you have to contemplate and really reflect on whether it's a good choice or not. And what I feel today is that I'm leaning more towards a yes, I'm going back because of the support. And if I keep staying on that and focusing on that even though there's going to be stresses, there's going to be things that I dealt with before and that new things that come up. But I'm not the same person that I was before. And I know that in my soul, I react differently. I am a different person. And I know what makes me a different person? Substances, alcohol and bud. So those two things are what make me emotionally unstable. And if I choose and I decide to keep not going back to that because I know that it's poison and it's not serving me, then I will keep being this person. I won't change back into another person who can't handle their emotions and react from an emotional place. I'll react from things from a logical place, like how I have been reacting. So how do you make situations better is by not taking stuff that's going to make you emotionally unstable, so that when you are in a triggering situation, you can not be explosive, reactive, and handle the situation with logic and remove yourself from a situation that's triggering in the moment. And how do you not let yourself get triggered by situations is that when you are triggered, you choose not to react. You get to that place where you don't react. And the best level to get at is that when someone purposely tries to trigger you and says something that is triggering, offends you, whatever it is, that you choose not to react. You just answer them with silence. You don't say nothing. You don't defend yourself. You don't do anything of that. And then they won't keep going. They won't have nothing else to say because they can see that they're not getting a reaction from you. So when it comes to people, choose not to react. When it comes to situations that are stressful, and the way that you deal with situations and people that are stressful is not taking everything personally. I know I had a huge problem with that. I would make it about me and not see the person's perspective when it had to do with me, because I thought that they were doing something because they, like a form of rejection or abandonment or whatever the case may be. And I took it way too personally instead of seeing the person's perspective. So when you don't take things personally and you realize it's just that person's shit, what they're dealing with, their shadows that they haven't overcome, that they're choosing to try to work on, or they're choosing not to, that's just their own stuff. It's nothing to do with you when they react like that. So when you don't take it personally, then you don't feel the need to react. You can be silent and let them deal with whatever they're dealing with, right? And the other one is treating everyone as a lesson, from your kids to your family to your friends to a stranger on the street. Everything's a lesson that you can learn from. If the same things keep frustrating you, irritating you, making you emotional, all these things, then there's a lesson to be learned that you're not overcoming, and you need to self-reflect and see what the lesson is. So if I can see things from this perspective, a new perspective, every situation, view it as in not negativity, as in how can I fix this, or how can I cope with this, or how can I change my perception of this situation in the moment, then I can handle any situation if I use these tools. I won't let it overwhelm me. All these things that I've learned in isolation, I'll apply it to the stressful environment that I'm going to be putting myself in, because I already know what it's like, but I can change my perception. And at the end of the day, everything is about sacrifice. It's what you're willing to sacrifice. Like at the end of the day, I'm willing to give up what I have here to gain something that I have there. Like what I'm realizing is what I said, support and having that freedom to make a life for myself and pursue my passions with everything that I have is more important than being alone in paradise, raising 2 kids alone. So it's not about giving up or anything like that. It's about what's the most important at the end of the day. So do what's right for you at the end of the day, what feels right in each moment, what your intuition is leading you to do. Reflect on it, make a conscious decision where you feel that it's good. And even if it ends up being a quote unquote mistake, or you don't feel the most fulfilled when you get there, it takes time, first of all, to get that. And there'll be lessons to learn along the way. Your intuition will lead you somewhere else. Like nowhere has to be a fixed place. But as long as you have stability and wherever you go, then that's good enough.